What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over to scoresandodds.com and get picks from me, Meansy, Dino, all the grades, plus you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus score the best lines, and most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? It's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day. Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord. Threw in the chat already. I'm joined today by someone who I just now realized I spelled wrong his name on this. Zach Price, aka Zachonomics, or as I spelled it, Zachonomics. Yeah. Sorry about that, Zach. I definitely misspelled it.
These guys will find me. You know where to find me. Look, if you know, you know. So glad to be here, Grant. Talk a little NBA here, catch up a little bit. It's been a while. Got a big slate. I'm just gonna look. I'm opening up all my sports books right now. I'm gonna start tailing, and that Action Lounge. Let's talk about that Action Lounge for a second. I mean, there's some Discords out there and private VIP lists and stuff where people claim to put out value. Like Grant's Action Lounge is the most value of any group I've ever seen. He's putting out like dozens of picks a day. In the NBA and obviously when NFL was going on, and I know baseball is coming up. So, man, everybody's got to get in on that. I know I'm in on that. I'm just overwhelmed by the value. I can't even keep up with all the picks. There's so many, which is like exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, no, I just looking at it now. Yeah, looking at the splits on things, that's over. I've been just on this show, which is about half my picks. That's 4,200 picks over the last year. For combined, what is this? I don't know, 60K. That's going with anywhere from $200 to $500 a bet, sometimes $100. Yeah, life is good. Gambling is good. Gosh, I love gambling. All right. Well,
tons of value.
Yeah, we got to give out the picks, so let's get right into it. Starting off with the Orlando versus Charlotte game. I have two picks in this game, if I remember correctly. I have Wendell Carter Jr. under 10.5 boards, minus 115 at Betway/DK. Charlotte's been a bit better going up against bigs since they shipped off Plumlee. Like, Plumlee was a solid player, but liability on the defensive end. Mark Williams and Nick Richards, so whatever his name. I always get confused with two first names guys. Like Mark Williams and Nick Richards, I always get mixed up, and they play for the same team. But yeah, Carter Jr. just a little bit too high. But the bet I absolutely love in this game, Kelly Oubre under 1.5 assists, and that seems like a low line. I get that. No LaMelo, he should dish the ball out more, but he's averaging 1.1 assists on the season. He's played 39 games, I want to say, this year. He's only hit the over in I think 5 or 6 games this season. That might be a little bit more than that, but his 1.1 assists per game is heavily skewed by the fact he had 5 assists in one random game earlier on in the season. I have this at like a 65% hit rate. This is my favorite bet on the board today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2 out of every 3 games, this thing should hit. Seriously. So it's minus 113. Great odds on a bet that hits 2 out of 3 at times. Like you mentioned, a lot of zeros on him, a lot of ones, and then mostly 2 assists for Oubre. So if he is going to beat you, he's going to beat you by a half, and only a couple times this whole season has he gone over 2. So great value there.
Yep, absolutely love it. Moving on to the next game, we got Atlanta going up against Portland. 240.5, I think, or 241.5 total in this game. 7-point spread. So the Hawks implied team total is massive in this spot. I'm rolling with Trae Young over 26.5 points. I think you can get it minus 110 over at MGM. Let me double check that. I got it minus 117. Still love it at that price. Yeah, minus 110 at MGM. FanDuel's already moved it to 27.5. I think most places are going to move it to 27.5 by game time. He's got 31 plus in each of the last 3 games. No one's really going to be able to stop him here. Like, this is just a beautiful spot for him. I think he easily hits the over here. And I took the under on Jeremy Grant, 5.5 rebounds, minus 137 at Caesars. He hits this at like a 40%, or not 40, 14% clip this season. I think he's hit 4 or 5 times in the last 2 months. Like this is just, it should be at 4.5. It consistently gets 3 to 5, but he rarely ever gets over that. And this could potentially be a blowout here. I don't generally love paying that much juice, but anytime I can get a 5 to 10% ROI bet at that juice, I'll just take it.
No defense going on in that game.
Yep, it's going to be a fun one. I kind of hope the Blazers make the playoffs. Honestly, I think I got them at 500 to 1 to win the championship, and
sure,
I didn't throw a lot of money on it. I threw like $40, but that's still what, 20 grand, I want to say. So
you got a guy like Damian Lillard, you give yourself a puncher shot.
Yeah, I mean, well, they have solid players. Like they have 1 star, and then they have like 5 solid players. They got Simons, they got Sharp. Thibault's a solid defensive guy. Grant's an actual like borderline all-star. And then Nurk is a solid big guy down low. I don't know if he's coming back at all this season. I think he is last time I checked, but I could be wrong there. They're going to be interesting. I honestly what do you think their odds are right now?
Portland?
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. I mean, probably 250. I don't know. I mean, they're like 13th seed or something.
600 to 1.
Yeah. So
DK,
right.
They're like 2 games out of the play-in. I don't
yeah.
know. Like I have so much money on random long shots. The Knicks I got at 300 to 1 just like a week ago. And
they've caught a little bit of fire there. They've definitely caught a little bit of fire there. The Blazer, the West is crazy. I just have a home court almost might mean nothing in the West. It just you get, like you said, I mean, I'm not expecting them to do it, but you get a guy like Dame just close out a couple of games late, and one of those young guys you mentioned, Simons or someone gets hot, and you could catch a series if you sneak in, but it's going to be just absolutely wild in the West.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the playoffs. Moving on to the next game, we got Brooklyn versus Boston. I took a few bets here. So Robert Williams over 19.5 points, rebounds, assists. Brooklyn's giving up a boatload of production to opposing centers recently. Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points. So obviously going up against Brooklyn. Bridges is a solid overall defender. Cam Johnson is a solid overall defender. I think Bridges is mostly going to pay more attention to Tatum. Cam Johnson will be on Brown, which Bridges, in my opinion, is a better defender. Brown has already hit over 24.5 points at a pretty consistent basis, and now we're getting it minus 104 at Caesars. Sign me up.
I think this game will be a lot closer than this 11-point spread. I don't know. I just see regular season game. I see Brooklyn, being a little bit feisty here, and these new guys, wanting to show something against Boston. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I think we can see some competitive game here.
Yeah, I want to say they just played each other not too long ago. Nope, I'm wrong. They haven't played each other. Well, let's see. They might have played each other. I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, the money lines are plus 420 at DK. I'm not even looking at what it is at another site right now. I just brought this up, but that's pretty big money line for an interdivision Atlantic Division game.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, even if the Celtics do blow them out, decent chance Brown and Williams both go over anyways. Moving on to the next game, we got Phoenix going up against Chicago. Interesting part about this, I think the line started at 6, and it's down at 3.5. Could be wrong on that one. Dean Shavelson was texting me earlier today about it, and it's like, why did the line move? And yeah, it opened at 6. Now it's at 4 or 3.5, depending on where you're at. Now it's all 3.5 now. Some heavier juice on certain spots against the Bulls, which is surprising to me. I don't know. I just think Phoenix is less built for the regular season than they are for the playoffs. So I can kind of see this, but I don't like Vooch in this spot here. I have his under of 32.5 points, rebounds, assists, under 11.5 rebounds. Ayton's solid defensively. The Suns have been solid at not giving up a lot to opposing centers. And then I took the over of Ayton, 17.5 points, the over of Levine, 24.5 points. Both those lines seem a little bit low to me.
Yeah, I mean, Levine, it's time for him to step up and continue scoring. That, yeah, Vooch. So you got him under on the rebounds and the points, rebounds, and assists here. But I agree with you. I think Phoenix is just trying to figure it out right now. Ayton's going to get a lot more looks down low with KD, on the wing and Chris Paul distributing more. So I definitely following that over as well. He's a 20-point a game guy, I think, even with KD coming, because he's just going to get more open looks down low, less attention on him.
Yeah. And the reason Vooch will bring him out to the outside a little bit, so I didn't go points, rebounds, assists. But yeah, the points line is pretty solid. And I also forgot I hit the Charlotte game. I hit Hayward over 17.5 points. I think this was an alt line over at Betfred. Getting 120 was just drastically different than the other spots. But next game, we got Knicks going up against Miami here. I think I only have one bet. Yeah, I only have one bet in this game, and that's Brunson under 24.5 points, minus 118. I think this line is already moved, and I still think I'd take the under. But looking at Brunson's game log, he's been out of his mind, playing out of his mind recently. Like over the last month, 53% from the field, 43% from beyond the arc, maybe a little bit higher than that on both of those. Like averaging 27 points per game. He has to come down to earth. Like he absolutely has to come back down to earth. And he's hit the under in 3 of the last 4 games. He gets a tough, slow-paced matchup, probably going to get Jimmy Butler defense, assuming that Jimmy Butler plays, which I kind of am. And if not, then the decent chances of a blowout. Like, I don't understand this line at all. Well, I do.
Yeah, I mean, he just came off, like, what happens. He just came off a 15 of 18 game, like you mentioned. It's his 39-point outing, and his props up a little bit. But like you mentioned, if you go back 4 games, the 3 previous, he was under a 13 and a 20 and a 17. Those seem pretty normal for him. I mean, he's a 20-point. I mean, what's his average? Over 23 a game. But like you said, we have these outliers that bring those averages up. So I'm never against a good under on a team's featured scorer here, especially as they're hot. I mean, they are hot. They've won 7 in a row. So always a good time to take an under.
Yep, absolutely. Next game, Utah going up against OKC. I took THT. I don't know why his numbers so inflated every single night, but I just keep taking his under on points, rebounds, assists, his under on points. Keeps hitting. Marketing, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, but I took his under 8.5 rebounds. It was sitting at plus 100 in DK. So I figured, why not? But THT is the main bet here. I mean, this is going to be an ugly game. And THT just isn't doing as much as people think he is recently. Mm-hmm. His number is just a little bit inflated.
Yeah, fair enough. Both those, I think, pretty good coin flips, depending on matchups.
Yeah. Memphis and Denver, I went with KCP's alt line of over 11.5 points, plus 130 at Betfred. You can go over 10.5. I still really like. I think it's minus 115, but getting the extra 45 points of juice for going 1 point over.
Yeah, that's nice right there.
Yeah, no, I've been finding a decent amount.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you hopped on Betfred yet?
Yeah, I haven't been playing as much as I'd like to, but I wasn't able to bet there in Colorado, but I might be able to here in Ohio. So let's see here. KCP 11.5. Okay. Yeah, it's a good price.
Yeah.
He's hitting almost half the time. So plus 130.
No, he's been playing well over the last month. And I mean, the matchup going up against a fast-paced team like Jokic, probably going to get focused on by Jaren Jackson a decent amount here. Like KCP will be on the outside just sitting there, and Jokic going up against Triple J, he'll be dishing out to him all game long. Like,
yeah, this is a good price right here.
I
do some math here.
Yeah, I thought about hitting his alt over all the way up to 15, and I still what is his alt over at 15 over on Betfred? They might have already. They tend to move the line after I hit it, but I don't know. They're an interesting site. Like some bets will let me get $40 down, and then others will let me get 500. Like
okay,
I've taken them for a lot of money recently, and so they're kind of starting to limit me a little bit. but still, like they're just so random traders come in throughout the day. So I constantly just bet throughout the day, hoping that a trader that doesn't hate me lets me put in
And so
some
you're
money.
getting sent to trader review, and then it's getting approved for the amount you want, or what are you finding?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes they draw. Like looking at the bets, I put in a flat $500 because
Are they going in at a flat 500, or are they going for review?
So I have three. No, they always get reviewed. Every single one of mine gets reviewed.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
well, that's good that you're getting some of those in.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to put
props.
500 down at plus 320 on KCP over 14.5 points. We'll see. I wonder what FanDuel had it at. I probably should have checked that. I just get a little antsy when I get excited. But what does FanDuel have KCP's 15 plus at? If they even have him on board, plus 300.
Well, I have him hitting this prop at 45% of the time, and so you're getting plus 130 at Betfred, so that's a good start.
Yeah, they just hit KCP over 14.5 let me get $100, but I got it at plus 320. I still had it plus 300.
Plus 320 for over 14.5. All right, let me see this.
Yeah, but FanDuel also has it at plus 300, so I wouldn't mind taking it there. And let's see if they move the line. Yep, they moved it to 290 now.
All right, it's fair.
So FanDuel's the better spot.
He's had more than his fair share of 14s and 15s, so he's definitely throwing around that number.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty good. And he's been an incredible addition to this team. Like, he's been fantastic for them. Like, everyone like doesn't realize that in certain systems, like the Lakers, for instance, when LeBron's healthy, KCP would be one of their most valuable players. They just need for spacing. It's perfect. KCP just sitting on the outside playing great defense. People tend to underestimate those things, but. Yeah. Last game we got Sacramento going up against the Clippers. I may end up taking Westbrook's under again. I've been hitting his under last 2 games, I think. It just got a little inflated. It's not even out there yet because I'm the second in the back-to-back. That's why I haven't hit it. But he hit both his under points under PRA. Tonight I'm going with Keegan Murray under 12.5 points, minus 113 over at Caesars. Tough matchup going up against Clippers. I know they've been in some high-scoring games recently, but overall, I think a little bit of a rough line. Did the Clippers end up losing last night? I know they were up, and then
they did. I believe they did.
So 0-4. Oh yeah, they lost.
Yeah, ridiculous. And I do not expect them to win tonight. I mean, I actually like the Clippers here in the West just as value, but man, it might take it. They're eyeing the playoffs, and we're here in early March, so they're losing right now, and the Kings are hot. So I would expect the Kings to win this game. They're 8-point favorites, which is crazy. The Clippers are coming off a back-to-back, so that's going to be tough. Probably would expect the Kings to win here, and our PG-13 probably. I mean, his over/under is 25. I wouldn't be surprised to see that going under. Him resting a little bit. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. We have him protected because it is a fast-paced matchup, but. Who knows?
Oh, well, the last time these guys played, Grant, it was 175 to 174 or something.
I remember that. I was really rooting for triple overtime for them to set the record for most points in a game. That was a blast.
If you're one of those guys that takes all the alt overs, and I know some people do out there, or just has crazy all over in your same gamers, you hit on that night. You hit big.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got some golf picks for the Masters locked and loaded. I love betting on majors. Like my wife's going to be 8.5, like a week before she pops, before when the Masters is on. So I'm right. I'm looking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You'll be ready. I mean, it's around my birthday too. It's going to be a fun one, man. I think people can start picking some numbers here on guys that maybe haven't played all off season before they get hot. Grab your favorite guy. Grab guys in the 20s and 30s to 1 range. Don't be looking at single digits or even in the early teens. This week should be a good tournament. The Arnold Palmer. Let me see if there's any numbers on Masters here. I'm just on DK messing around, building a $10 risk-free NBA lotto ticket. I hit one last night, and I hit one about 4 nights ago. So I'm just going to stick with that. Geez. Yeah, the Masters odds. I mean, some of these guys, the Rahm's plus 550. He's leading this week. I mean, it's just crazy to bet somebody that short for the Masters right now.
I know it's wild, but he's been so good over the last.
Fantastic. But you know what? I think my strategy would be if I really like Rahm and I think he's going to win the Masters. Maybe I do. Probably will. Let's see how he shoots round one. And instead of plus 550, like let's grab him at plus 850 or something. Let's watch another guy shoot 65 day one. And if he does, well, I'll see you next year at the Masters because there's not much you can do about it. But there's all these other guys. I mean, Jordan Spieth's 20-1, great Masters player. Dustin Johnson on the Live Tour is 22-1. He's won the green jacket. He was leading the Masters last year for a bit. A lot of guys. Fitzpatrick's won a major. Matsuyama's won the Masters before. He's 35-1. I wouldn't mind grabbing him in that range. Probably can get him a little better if you shop around. So, definitely some opportunities to get some guys to in that 20-30 range to maybe get a nice early round, and then you could grab Rahm later if you're set on him, maybe at a plus 1,000 or higher.
Yeah, no, definitely. Those were the kind of ones I was looking at. DJ, Zalatoris, Homa.
Zalatoris. Good call. Where is he? How did I skip him?
22-1.
Oh, 22? Oh, yep. Right in that range. Spieth 20, I mentioned, right above him. DJ's right behind him, 22. Finau 25-1, always has a good shot at it if he can, get over that hump. That all those guys right in that range. Matsuyama, I said, is 35-1. You could probably get a 40, 50-1 at some point because he hasn't been playing the best, but he's a fantastic golfer at the Masters. Always could grab a couple of crazy long shots at the Masters. If we go way down,
Ricky.
Yeah, there's a lot of names on here, honestly, that the sports book wants you to bet because I don't even think some of these guys are invited this year. So these are losses if you bet these guys and they don't qualify. But Phil Mickelson 180-1. It'd be fun if you have him and he's 4 under on day one. You got some bragging rights, something to kind of root for the next day at least, maybe into the weekend. It's all about having a good time. It's like the Super Bowl of golf. You want to have some fun with it. You want to have a couple lotto tickets that you can, maybe have a chance at cashing and get all excited about and make the weekend so much more fun, even though it's just great no matter what.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, thanks for hopping on, Zach. Again, follow him at Zachonomics on Twitter. Don't pay attention to my awful spelling. I messed up, but things happen. Zach, anything before we get on out of here?
No, DM me if you want some props. DM me if you want some sign-up bonuses. DM me if you want some betting tips. Whatever you want. I'm here for you, sports betting, anything. So at Zachonomics or whatever Grant put out there, you'll find me. If you really want it, you'll find me.
Yeah, well, Zach, thanks for joining me. We're out of here. Later, kids.